back to my YouTube channel. I'm Mal, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite books in 2022. And I have a huge pile, so let's get started. Oh, before we get started actually, most of these books are romance books, so just a warning. Whatever. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with my 4-star, 4.5 books, and then I'm gonna end with my 5-star books at the end because I have more to talk about. I have some physical copies and also some books I read on my phone, which I haven't honestly rated them, but I think I might just talk about it in the end. Okay, which book should we talk about first? Okay, we're gonna start off with a series. One of the first books that I loved this year was Thrive by Kristen Becca Ritchie from the Addicted series. I love this book, and I also loved Addicted After All. So obviously, I enjoy every single book that I read from the series because the Addicted series is my whole life, and I loved it. And it was just a continuation of their story, which is something I love. I don't really want to say spoilers, but like, Addicted After All is the last book of Lillian Lowe, and it was so emotional because it was their final like book of only themselves, because there's obviously other books that talks in general about them, but this is their last book of their romance, and it was so cute, so sad, so happy. It made me just so happy because I get to see how they grew after those years of pain, and they're finally like moving on with their life, and you can see how the family has gotten bigger and bigger, and how their love for each other is even stronger, and their bonds are so much stronger, and I just loved it. My favorite part, should I spoil? Should I not spoil? I shouldn't, but I want to because I want to talk about my favorite parts. There were some parts where Lillian Lowe and their romance and their friendship. Oh, when I'm gonna finish the Addicted series, I'm for sure gonna talk about every single one of these books. So I'm not gonna spoil. My favorite book this year was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I know this book is controversial for people not loving it because I don't know why they don't like it. Honestly, for me as a teenage girl, it's obviously I'm the targeted reader. So I enjoyed it, but I know for some people they did not like it at all. But to me, it was so cute. Like the whole time the book had me smiling because it's fake dating, it's women in STEM. I don't know, but Adam Carlson? What's his name? Adam Carlson. Why can't I say this? Adam Carlson? The way he treated Olive the whole time was like, I got butterflies from this book. That's why I loved it so much. I tabbed it a little bit. This is the first book I've ever tabbed in my life. So, yeah. But he was just so sweet with her that, And also, like, the smut in this book, Jesus Christ. It was intense. It's legit like 2 chapters, but it was good. It was good. It was a quick read for me. I love just the dynamic between Adam and Olive, and how much Adam loves Olive, and how he remembers the little things about her, and the fake dating. Oof. It was good. It was good. There was good tension. It was like, there were so many good little scenes about their chemistry and all that stuff, and it was like, oof, I could feel the butterflies from the book. So I loved it. Next book that I loved this year was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This book is wonderful. This book is about Cecilia and Marco, and it's their romance, but they're basically like they're rivals because they're fighting over this huge challenge throughout their whole life, and it's based in a circus that only appears at night, is open at night, and it's just a fascinating book. I read this book because of Jack Edwards, obviously. I love Jack, and it's such a surreal book because it's well done. This book takes you to the Night Circus, which has so many little places in the Night Circus that are so amazing. There's little booths that are so interesting, and the settings are so well described that I felt like I was in the circus myself. and it made me envy, and I wanted to go in the circus in real life because it sounded so exciting. It was well done. It was like the way that she described the setting and like created this whole world of the circus. It made me fall in love because I've never been really excited of a circus, but the way that she described a circus in this book, I loved it so much. Because my favorite, like if you read the book, my favorite place would definitely be the Cloud Maze. I love the Cloud Maze so much. There's some certain rooms in the circus which are so spectacular, and I loved it. And also the romance aspect in this book is very minimal, I'd say. But every time that Cecilia and Marco did have romance in the book, it made it so intimate and special, and you could tell their romance was strong. Even though there was very little romance in the book, it was still spectacularly well done. And it took me a while to read this book because I wanted to cherish it, and I was really busy and I damaged it a lot too, but it was cool. It was just like diving into a new world, and I loved it. Okay, so the next book that I loved this year was Love Her Wild by Atticus. This is a series of poems that Atticus wrote, and it's a poetry book. It's the first poetry book that I read completely, so well done to me, I guess. I love this poetry book so much because it was such an easy read. It was so simple to understand for me, but it still made my heart flutter. It's so well done, it's so easy and simple. It just made me feel warm inside and like excited about love. It made me feel good. No, this book really felt like a warm cup. It felt like a warm cup of coffee. I don't know. The poetry in it is about love and love her wild. It's like an easy read for me because there's some poetry that is so complicated I don't get the meaning, but this one was like, it's pretty simple, so I understood it fully, and it felt deep in its own way, so I enjoyed it. Another book that I read that I loved this year was Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This book is a love story with Macy and Elliot. They're childhood best friends, and they're childhood best friends because Macy's mom dies, and she buys them like a vacation house that only Macy and her dad can go to when she misses when they need a break and stuff like that. So Macy goes there, and she makes a best friend called Elliot, and they become childhood best friends. But then something happens, and Macy and her dad they basically don't come out. They don't come back to the vacation house, and eventually Macy and Elliot meet each other again, and it's their romance. But I love this book so much because Macy and Elliot's relationship before the whole big ordeal, I guess, and even after, is so sweet, is so caring. Elliot is definitely a soft boy. Like, he's not your dominant, aggressive male character. He's the boy with the soft spot, the golden retriever, you could say. And their relationship was so sweet and endearing to read about. Like, I remember the whole time I was reading, I was smiling because it was so sweet the way that they were treating each other. And also, they're both readers, which made it also more fun because you got to relate to them really well because they're also readers like you. And when I learned about when there was a plot twist in the book, my heart was so broken. It was so sad. But then their romance like captured my heart, and I loved it. I really did. So, Love in Other Words. Oh, also the theme, I forgot. Also the little theme of love and other words. They both love reading so much, like I said before, and words are very important to them, and that little aspect of loving literature and all that stuff was really cute. So that's why I loved this book. Archer's Voice, bro. Archer's Voice. Okay, so I read Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This book is so good. It's a small town romance. If you don't know me, I love small town romance. It's everything I aspire to be when I'm older. But it's a small town romance between Archer and Bree, and Bree moves into this new town where she meets Archer. He's kind of the loner of the town, and she's the only one that's able to communicate with him, and because he's mute and she knows sign language, and they only have each other really. Well, Archer only has Bree to talk to, and it's their romance, and it's so sweet. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. Archer is also another soft guy, you could say, soft boy, whatever. And he's literally the sweetest man you could ever be. He does everything for Bree and he treats her amazingly. And like, there's also a mystery aspect in this book, which was interesting to unravel while you were reading it. And we get to learn about Archer's past and also Bree's past, and it hurt my heart, but it also warmed it at the same time, because like Archer was so sweet, he cares so much for Bree, but their past was haunting them in so many ways. And when we get to learn why, it's really sad, but it was really good. Archer's so sweet and it made my heart melt, so that's why I love this book so much. There's some little, like the things he does for Bree, god damn, I need a man like Archer. But yeah, it was just a wonderful book. It teaches you have to listen or try to communicate with everyone, because everyone has something to say, which is why it's called Archer's Voice. But it was so good, it was so good. These two physical copybooks, the next two, are my ultimate favorites of 2022 by far. I'm gonna go with this book first. Inheritance Games. Bro, Inheritance Game is so good, you don't understand. I tabbed it all. I tabbed it with the colors, you know, to match the cover because of gloss. This book is so good. I loved it so much. It kept me on my toes the whole time. So this book is about Avery Graham inheriting all the money of this random billionaire that she does not know a thing about. She inherits all his money and the billionaire's grandsons have no clue why. But to inherit the money, she has to live in the family house with the grandsons for a year to inherit all that money. But during the time that she's living with them, they're all trying to discover the mystery of why. Why does this random girl, Avery Graham, get all this money instead of the grandson? So that's what they're trying to do during this whole book. So while they're trying to uncover the mystery, they're also forming relationships and connections, and there's a romance aspect to it. But my favorite part personally of this book was obviously the romance between Avery and the grandson, but it was also the mystery aspect in this book is so well done. I tell you, I read this in a day or two. I read it so fast because I was always trying to like discover what the hell was happening, and damn, was it worth it. Like the house that they live in also holds so many mysteries and secrets, because the billionaire, Tobias Hawthorne, who died, he's a guy who loves puzzles, mysteries, and all that stuff, and he taught his grandchildren to also love it. So in his house and in everything, like their whole life is full of mysteries, and every little aspect that they discover is so interesting. And Jennifer Lynn Barnes wrote it so well to describe each mysteries and then discovering the mysteries. It was just so well written, so well done. The puzzles fit together, and it was so interesting. Like every move they made to discover a treasure or something like that, it was so interesting, and I loved it. It kept me captivated 1000% of the time, and I was so excited when I finished the book, because I was so shocked when I finished the book, because I learned so many things that I legit told the whole story to my family, because I was so in love with this book and I needed to talk to someone about it. I just loved it so much because it was so well done. That's about it. It's just really well done, and the mystery is chef's kiss, bro. It's so good. Okay, so the last physical copy book that I have, it's legit so good. It's one of my favorites. It's 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. Man, oh man, this book is a roller coaster. I'm not gonna spoil because nobody wants that. But 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole is such a sweet romance book between Poppy and Rune. They're childhood best friends, then Rune moves away and Poppy cuts all contact. And Rune comes back, and then they learn about something that's gonna change their life forever, and it's an incredible book. I loved it so much. I think like This is the book I would trade my soul to read for the first time again. I know the people that have read this are gonna think I'm crazy because it's so emotional, but all those feelings that I felt, I want to relive them again. I legit have a Snapchat video of me when I finished the book, and I couldn't. My emotions were everywhere. When I tell you this book it holds a special place in my heart because this book talks about hope, inspiration, life, romance, and it was just wonderful because Rune and Poppy, okay, it's definitely a YA romance because there's really cheesy shit in here, which I loved because I'm young and I love cheesy shit. It's a puppy dog romance, you could say. It's so cheesy, but it was so sweet. The romance slash relationship between Rune and Poppy is so like, goddamn, it's soulmate love. It's so like, it's everything you wish for. It's honestly just heartbreaking. This book made me laugh, made me cry, made me so happy, and the ending is it's just like damn. The ending made me cry but made me so happy at the same time, and all these feelings that I felt in this book were like so surreal because their romance is so fucking amazing. It's just so adorable. It's soulmate. It's basically soulmate types of romance, and I just can't describe Poppy's and Rune's connection, but it's incredible. And this book talks about life, and it made me appreciate my own life, and I loved it. And it's all I can say without getting emotional and without spoiling everything, because if I were to talk about this book in detail and how much I loved it and why I loved it, I would spoil everything. So I'm not gonna do that. But just trust that this book is heartbreaking, but also beautiful in its own way. And I'm also rereading it because I need to feel these emotions again. So yeah. Okay, so that's it for all the physical copy books that I have. Now let's go and talk about my favorite books that I read on my phone this year. I have 5 on my phone. 5. Let's talk about the books that are on my phone. Okay, let's go the same route. The ones that I rate like 4, 4.5 to the 5-star. Okay, so I read Marriage for One by Ella Mays. That book is it's so sweet. So it's a fake marriage trope actually, where, oh my god, did I forget their names? Wait a second. Marriage for One by Ella Mays. Okay, it's Rose and Jack, damn. It's a romance between Rose and Jack where they're doing a fake marriage of convenience for each other so that Jack can Jack can own a building and so Rose can have her own coffee shop. But it's their romance, and their romance is so sweet. It's not a type of sweet like Archer Hale or Rune and Poppy, but it's sweet because it's a grumpy and sunshine romance where Jack used to be this very grumpy guy, business guy, always working and all that stuff, but he turns soft for Rose. Their marriage, you could see like they were both so attracted to each other. They didn't pass the boundaries because it was fake, and them forming a relationship after it's fake and all that stuff, and the tension and all that stuff. It was a really fun read. I very much enjoyed reading it. Their romance was captivating. But it was just a fun read. I don't exactly remember. The thing about reading books on my phones, I don't remember exactly everything about it, so yeah. But I loved it. I do remember I loved it because Rose is so sweet, and them like fake dating, just the fake dating trope. I loved it. Okay, next book. I read All You're Perfect by Colleen Hoover, which I don't know if I would say it's my favorite book on 2022, but I'm gonna add it on the list because I still enjoyed it. Okay, it's the romance So All You're Perfect is the romance between Graham and Quinn, and it talks about how Quinn can't have children and how their marriage falls apart. In totality, it's a sad book, and the romance is not exactly great or healthy. It was still sweet through the romance, but I think what really attracted me and what made me love the book very much is seeing how people that can't have children, seeing how Quinn deals with the fact that she can't have children is what made me enjoy the book the most, because I've never really read well, I've never really talked about that subject ever because I'm 16. I've never had anything about pregnancy. I've never really talked about it. But just reading about Quinn's experience and how she views herself was very interesting to see like how people put their worth and value so much because they can't have children. And for me, it was like opening a new window because I've never thought about it. So that's why I liked it so much, because I could see how Quinn was struggling and I could understand that topic of subject even better because of this book. And the way that they like heal their relationship in general and try to work things out is very interesting for me to see, because I've never read a book about a couple falling in love and breaking apart. So I enjoyed that very much. You know, it's interesting to see because I've never seen it before. So that's why I liked that book. And just seeing Quinn finding herself again and appreciating herself after knowing that she can't have kids was just beautiful. And like, I remember some parts, like special quotes in the book, which made me like really enjoy it. It talked about how you can't blame yourself for certain things and you can't put your whole life's worth into something you can't control. And I love seeing how Quinn overcame that and how their relationship was also affected because of that subject. It was really interesting, and that's why I loved it so much. Though I know a lot of people don't love Colleen Hoover, I do think that she does talk about subjects that are very important to talk about, but not a lot of authors do, which is good. Though some things I don't agree with, like some books are a bit too out of this world, it is important to always bring light on subjects we don't talk about, which is why I still appreciate her as an author. Okay, next book that I love that I haven't even finished, but I'm gonna add it on the list anyways, is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Icebreaker is so good. Icebreaker, like everyone started talking about it like a few months ago, I think. It's the romance of Anastasia and Nate. It's their romance. It's a hockey romance and a figure skater romance. It's a sports romance. So it's between the two of them, and they basically kind of start off as friends with benefits, and then they start getting into a relationship and all that stuff. It's their romance, but I love the book so much because the amount of tension that was in the book was just surreal, and I loved it because of it. Because you could see how much Nate appreciated her and loved Stacy, and it was just really cute. It's a good sports romance to read. It was very entertaining. There's a lot of smut, but I think their romance is really lovely. Oh, that's why I loved reading it. And Nate adores Stacy so much, and he takes care of her so well. I don't know. I love the book. I just don't know how to explain it because honestly, every romance book is the same, so I'm kind of repeating myself. But yeah, it was a good book. Icebreaker was good. Oh, also, one aspect that I loved about Icebreaker is the way that Stassi is loved by everyone on the hockey team. Like, they all support her so much, and they're all good friends with Stacy. Like, I love that whole dynamic. And I love her best friend. Stacy's best friend is everything. She cares about her so much. They take care of each other, and they make fun of one another, and I love it. I love the dynamic in general. I love the dynamic of like everyone being friends and having a big group of friends together and some people in the group dating. It was just fun to read. I'm at the epilogue and I don't want to finish it, so yeah. The next book that I loved this year was The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This book is so cute. Like, it's so cute. Okay, The Kiss Quotient is so good. I read it really quickly because I loved it. First of all, it's an Asian character. There's an Asian character romance, and it was so interesting because I've never read about someone hiring an escort before to practice dating. So that whole subject enough was like, damn. And you can see right off the bat how Michael, which is the male romance character in the book, was so invested in Stella the whole time, and the romance was so beautiful and sweet again, and he took care of her so well, and he loves Stella so much, and he still does, obviously. You could just read it through the pages that how much Michael loves Stella and how much they pine for each other, but they're doing a relationship of convenience too, kind of fake dating in a way, but they're really honestly there to help each other. It also has a character with autism, which I've never read about, which was really cool to read because it was interesting. I never knew the aspects of people having autism, and just reading about Stella having autism taught me a lot self, and it was just really cute. I loved it because the way that they got together was really weird and interesting, but when their actual real relationship started, it was just lovely, and I really liked it. Okay, we're almost done. Now, last but not least, one of my favorite books of 2022 was From Bukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. This book is the romance between Jasmine and Ivan. It's so cute. It's a pair ice skating romance, and the two of them decide to skate together, and it's their whole relationship and how they become a couple. This book is so slow burn. It raged me how slow burn it was, but it was well done. Mariana Zapata is known for her slow burn romances, and she does them so well because the amount of tension that was built up to finally they're together was amazing. It was, oh, I loved it. Ivan is everything I want in a man. He was so like fun, flirty, but tough and attentive towards Jasmine, and like the scenes in the book, there was smut, wasn't there? There was smut, but like the way that Mariana wrote the tension up and some scenes that they were in together. Oh, it was so well done. It was well done. I was so excited to read the next chapter to see where their relationship goes. And it was like, oh. And when I finished the book, I was like, damn, Ivan is my man. There's a vacuum, sorry. But Ivan is legit everything. It's everything. Yeah, I just really loved Ivan. Jasmine, I loved her because she was a fierce character. She did not care to talk back when people were being mean to her, and I love that about her. Strong female lead. But yeah, their relationship is adorable because it's an enemies to lovers. So they were always bickering. I remember this now. They were always bickering with each other, which was so fun. Like, I love couples that bicker. It was just like, I hate you, but I also love you type of romance, and it's just fun. Yeah, definitely an enemies to lovers. I forgot to talk about that. It's just a well done enemies to lovers. But anyways, it was so good, and I very loved it. I love every single book that I've read from Mariana Zapata. But like the problem is I read it on my phone, so I always forget about the plot sometimes. And that's my issue. Okay. So yeah, that's it. That's all the books that I loved in 2022. Hopefully there'll be even more books that I love in 2023. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have read any of these books, comment down below and tell me how much you love them, but I'd love to talk about them to someone else that's read them and talk about every little detail. But yeah, those are all the books that I loved in 2022. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!